Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Executive Chief Matt Slinkard with the Houston Police Department. We're at 3421 Antoine Drive this morning, and I'm going to give you a preliminary briefing on what we have out here on the scene tonight. We've got with us Commander Null of our Homicide Division, Commander Bryant from this area for patrol. We've got Assistant Chief Band 10, and we've got Doug Griffith with our Houston Police Officers Union, the union president. Tonight, we received a call about 23:08 hours, about 11:08 p.m., that originated from the Palace Inn Motel here at 3421 Antoine. We believe at this time that call came in from the suspect involved in this case. That call indicated the caller that this person had weapons and was potentially going to harm or shoot someone and shoot police when they respond to this location. We have been able to watch video in this incident that will be part of our investigation. And what ensued was a shooting where this suspect murdered two individuals here at the Palace Inn Motel on the second floor balcony. At this time, it does not appear, preliminarily, it does not appear that this is a domestic violence incident. It does not appear that this suspect knew the two victims. This suspect shot these victims and they were deceased prior to officers arriving on the scene. When officers arrived on the scene, they immediately started taking gunfire when their patrol cars pulled into the parking lot. Two different units in two different entrances to the motel parking lot started taking gunfire from the suspect who was firing from the second floor balcony. Those patrol officers' patrol vehicles were struck, it appears, multiple times. The patrol officers then returned fire. We have three officers that returned fire in this incident. One, an approximate 1-year veteran, one, a 2-year veteran, and one, a 3-year veteran of the Houston Police Department. No officers were injured or struck by gunfire from the suspect and the exchange of gunfire. Officers returned fire towards the second floor balcony as they were taking fire from the suspect. At some point, the suspect went down in the open doorway of what appears to be his motel room here at the motel. When that suspect went down, officers formed together in a group behind a shield and made their way up to the second floor to see if they could start to render aid to any potential victims that might be alive. When officers reached the second floor balcony of the motel, they unfortunately and tragically discovered two deceased individuals, one appearing to be a Hispanic female, unknown age, and one appearing to be a Hispanic male, unknown age. Again, it does not appear that these two victims knew our suspect. We do have video of this homicide, this double homicide, and that video indicates that we have only one suspect in this incident, and he is deceased on the scene as well. Do not know his exact age, but approximately 35-year-old African-American male. Again, two deceased on the second floor balcony, unknown age, a Hispanic female and a Hispanic female. Two other individuals in the parking lot were wounded and shot as part of this incident as the suspect at one point started shooting randomly over the balcony. Those individuals are alive and are being treated for their wounds. One was being treated here on the scene and one being treated at a local hospital. Our Special Investigations Unit is out here to investigate the officer-involved shooting in this incident. Our Homicide Division will be investigating this tragic double homicide. We will have the District Attorney's Office out here as well and the Houston Forensic Science Center while we conduct this investigation. Obviously, we're going to be out here for several hours. It's a horrific and tragic scene. Again, these two individuals were tragically deceased before officers arrived at the location, and it appears that potentially they were murdered by this suspect within approximately 2 to 3 minutes of the original call coming in. And so all of that will be part of our investigation as we uncover more on this tragic incident. It is not known right now if the suspect was killed on the scene by the officers returning gunfire or if the suspect possibly inflicted one gunshot wound to himself, ultimately committing suicide. That will be part of our investigation. We do not know that yet, and it is too early in the investigation to tell. With that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Weapon recovered from the suspect?
Yes, we do have a weapon that will be part of our investigation.
What type of weapon was he using?
Won't cover that here in this briefing. That'll be part of the investigation. Okay. Anything
So
else?
thankful no officers were injured.
No officers were injured. Obviously, we're very thankful about that. Again, this is it's a tragic situation when you have somebody call in, and it'll be part of our investigation. We do not yet know, a lot about this suspect. We'll find that out in the coming hours as part of our investigation. Tragically, we have 3 people dead here on this scene tonight, and a total of 5 shot, including the suspect. And all of that occurred before the officers arrived, and then when the officers arrived, they immediately start taking gunfire before they even got out of the patrol car. Just underlines and underscores sometimes how dangerous the calls are that our officers respond to, and very, very tragic for all the families that will be affected by a scene like this, and very tragic for those who lost their life tonight, definitely unnecessarily. Any other questions that you have?
Chief, can you just speak to the training and the preparedness that your officers have, and how effective they were in encountering this?
Well, I mean, obviously our officers are very well trained, but when you arrive on a scene and you immediately start taking gunfire, hopefully your training kicks in, and it appears that in this situation it did. Tragically, those officers were not able to save the 2 victims that were already deceased before they arrived. Again, we don't know the motives of this suspect. We don't know if this suspect was in a mental health crisis. All of that will be part of our investigation. But officers can find themselves in a very dangerous and volatile situation sometimes in just a matter of seconds, and that's what happened here tonight.
Chief, can you clarify the genders of the victims?
Yes, sure. The 2 deceased that we have on the 2nd floor of this motel on the balcony are a Hispanic female and a Hispanic male, unknown age. And then we have 2 others that have been shot but are not deceased and are being treated. And then a suspect, approximately 35 years old, African-American male, is deceased on the scene. Okay, anything else?
Can you address, there's a huge increase in homicides this year compared to last year? Do you have any?
Yeah, we've talked about that numerous times. Obviously, as you know, in 2020, the entire country has seen an increase in violence and in homicides and domestic violence, and Houston is experiencing what the rest of the country is experiencing. It's not unique just to Houston, but it's something that we're all combating. There are a lot of factors, affecting that, but it's something that we're out here working hard every day to try to curtail that and curb the violence that we're seeing. And the Houston Police Department will continue to be out here every single day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, trying to do everything we can to help in that regard.
Any other questions? All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.